And I'll leave you with that thought as we move on to question number 1, which has come in this week, and this is from Jerry. And Jerry says, as an estate agent, I'm having trouble getting updates from solicitors during the property transaction process. What can I do to stay informed and keep my clients regularly updated? I'm tired of them venting their frustration down the phone at me, especially when the delays and lack of updates are not my fault. Jerry, well, thank you for your question, and thank you for being part of the amazing WiggyWam community. I completely get where you're coming from with regards to this, and this is probably one of the biggest frustrations that agents have been experiencing, and their mutual clients that are shared with conveyancing solicitors, that people have experienced over the course of the last 2 years. I'm sure you have, if you've been going through the pandemic and everything else that's been going on, that you've encountered these roadblocks in terms of barriers to communication and people not getting back to you to let you know where things are at. And I think we're coming into a time where agents need to take a little bit more charge of the overall selling process of a property. And that might sound a little bit daunting, because what I've noticed and realized, and again, I say this with a whole lot of love and respect to estate agents out there watching this, a lot of estate agents tend to be quite people-pleasing personalities, okay? So they don't want to ever say anything that will offend or upset their client, because they might then run the risk of losing the possibility of selling the house, right? So there tends to be, and this is not just my take, by the way, I've heard this from other people who are in the market training estate agents to do a better job of winning new instructions and all the rest of it, but the people-pleasing aspect of the personality prevents them from being, shall we say, the real guiding hand that the seller needs early on enough in the process, okay? Now, if you think about it from an outsider's perspective, when people come to put their house up for sale, okay, they need guidance on best practice as far as marketing is concerned, best practice in terms of actually selling the property, going through those negotiations, okay, best practice on finding a house to live in, best practice on getting their finances in place, for example, best practice on removals. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they need expert guidance on. And unfortunately, in the early appointments, i.e. the valuation and the listing, most estate agents are only focused on getting the property on the market in as friction-free process as possible. And I think a lot of agents are missing a trick big time, which is educating them on what's to come and adding value to the client's journey in such a way that they can charge a premium, okay? And that comes down to expressing your expertise in a way that cuts through the competition, or cuts the competition off at the knees, and shows them that you are the person to be dealing with when it comes to selling a property, okay? Now, that can come in the form of blogs that you've written, videos that you've recorded and posted online, etc., etc. You've built up a knowledge bank, and that helps clients to see that you know exactly what you're talking about, okay? And we're getting distracted slightly here, so I'm going to take a slight side step back to your question, Jerry, which is, when it comes to leading the seller through the property process, I don't believe you can sit on your hands, and when the seller says, oh yeah, we're going to use Bob, you know, the family solicitor who's done our family's conveyancing for the last 38 years, you know, if you know that Bob is going to deliver a very subpar level of service, you need to get that on the table very early on in the process, okay? And I'm not going to tell you your job here, Jerry, but my approach is always to offer people two options. Don't say, oh, Bob's a load of, you know, whatever, he's never going to get the job done in time. Just offer them option A and option B. Option A is to go with Bob, and Bob's, you know, the last dealing that I had with Bob was 14 weeks, and the sale nearly fell through 3 times, and the buyer got frustrated, and it cost the seller an extra £1,000, and whatever else it might be. The genuine experience of what it was dealing with him, which is what made it such a bloody nightmare. And option B is you can go with, you know, Sam, for example, down the road, who we've put 10 transactions through in the last month. She's been absolutely golden. She always updates us. She never lets things slide past 24 hours. And, you know, her fee is very competitive. Yes, you're paying a little bit more, but she's got a whole team of people behind her that update things and make sure the information exchange happens very, very quickly, because the last thing you want to do is lose a buyer, which is going to cost you £1,500 plus in fees anyway. Okay, which option would you like? Okay, because it's a no-brainer to anybody who's rational and sensible in their approach to life. Okay, so that's how I would do it. So it is about setting that expectation up front with the client, but I also think it's worth setting the expectation up front with the solicitors that you're dealing with in your local area, and let them know that you want them to subscribe to your SLA, for example, your standard, your service level agreement. And I believe it's worth putting something together which only has to be 5 or 6 bullet points that basically just says you'll return phone calls within 24 hours and emails within 24 hours. We expect documentation exchange to happen very efficiently and on time, etc., etc. You will provide us with a weekly update, whatever it might be that's important to you as an agent for you to do the best job for your client. Set that out in an SLA, and you want those solicitors to be signing up to it and agreeing to it if they want to receive referral business from you. And this is where the issue of referral fees gets in the way of solicitors providing the best service, because usually what they have to do is they offer to charge a fee, and then the agent comes in and cuts them down by a couple of £100 because that's what they want for their referral fee. So the solicitor has got less income coming in, but the biggest liability of the entire transaction, which is, if anything goes wrong, it's on the solicitor's head, right? So this is where you end up in a major conflict of interest between a solicitor paying referral fees to estate agents, when actually they should just be focused on doing a really good job in the shortest possible time frame. Okay, so that's what I would definitely do. In terms of getting updates, and if you want to make this really quick and easy and simple, one of the best things you can do is introduce them to WiggyWam and also get yourself on WiggyWam. The reason I say that is because we've built in property workspaces into the back end of the website, so you won't actually see them on the front end. You have to be plugged in such a way that as your properties upload into our system, the workspace is created automatically, and then you can invite buyer, seller, both sets of solicitors in there. And it's a bit like a Facebook group, for want of a better expression, but there's task lists that are listed within there that can be checked off by both parties of solicitors, or by the buyer and the seller as they're going through the transaction, so that you know where you're at. Okay, and if a solicitor doesn't want to spend time picking up the phone and updating you, it's dead easy. They just log into WiggyWam. Okay, they type out the update, or they type out the update in their CRM system, whichever is preferable, and then they cut and paste the update from their CRM into the timeline within that property workspace, removing any confidential information, of course. But one-click update, everybody's updated within that transaction. Okay, dead quick and easy and simple. But your client is updated like that, and you don't have to spend hours on the phone, dealing with all the emotional issues. Yes, that task's being done. This is what's coming next. Okay, and by the way, here's some educational videos built into WiggyWam within the Learning Center that will guide you through the next steps of the process, which is profoundly valuable to both you and your clients in terms of delivering excellence to them. So hope that gives you some answers, Jerry. I do believe that, as I say, this is the time now for you to be grabbing the bull by the horns and leading the client through the journey. You're the expert. You're the one they're looking to for advice. And as a consequence, you need to be supporting them in their journey by recommending the right power team, as we used to call it in the investing days, to be working alongside them. Okay, so hope that helps. Let me know if there's anything else we can do to support you in that journey, Jerry, and good luck. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much indeed for joining me here on this webinar today. We are doing this same time, same place every week. So if you've got questions, concerns, comments, feedback, anything that you want to send in to us, there's a number of ways you can get in contact with us. The first is via email. Email address is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. Okay, you can send us your property questions or anything else to that email address. You can also get in touch with us through our website. That is at www.wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk. You can access your free profile in there. You can view blogs. You can view our broadcasts that we put out every single week. There's a wealth of content and knowledge and information there. So I encourage you to sign up and get involved and start becoming part of the amazing WiggyWam community. You can also go to Twitter Twitter handle is @WiggyWam_UK. So that's @WiggyWam_UK, where you can, again, get in contact with us via Twitter and send us your comments, feedback, questions, and anything else that you may have. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on a future episode of of our webinars and our podcast, by all means, please get in contact with us. Send us an email, happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. And if you just put in the subject there, podcast guests, we'd love to have you on, share some knowledge and expertise with their community, and I'll look forward to hearing from you all very soon. So thanks ever so much indeed for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again on a future webinar and podcast very soon. Take care.